There we go. Okay, so start seated and find something that feels tall. So if you want to back up against your couch and use that as like something to prop your back up on, that might be more restful since sitting on the floor is actually really hard on the back. You could also like scoot a pillow or a book or something under your butt. Yeah, fold up a blanket, put it under your bottom, that's fine. You're looking for a feeling in your pelvis, like imagine it's a bowl. You want to feel like your bowl is tilted forward very slightly. So if your bowl was full of water, the water would pour out of the front, not out of the back. Make sense?
Yeah.
So maybe adjust it so you feel like your flesh is on the pillow, but you're tilted forward a little bit. And then you can do whatever you want with your knees or your legs. You can change that position at any time. Maybe roll your shoulders a couple times really big. And then next time your shoulders are down, keep them down. Really gentle pinch of your shoulders behind you. You don't have to like Superman it the whole time. We're talking 10% energy right now. Pull in and up on your pelvis and your organs just to support your low back. And then let gravity do its thing with your knees. But if that becomes uncomfortable at any time, like I said, change your leg position. Let your gaze go straight ahead and slightly down. So find something ahead of you that's not moving where you can fix your gaze and then consciously soften your muscles around your eyes and your jaw and your mouth. Keep your elbows bent, hands are resting on your body, maybe on your legs, or maybe if you're new, you put one hand on your belly and one hand on your chest so that you can more easily tune in to the movement and the sensations of your breathing. And mentally separate yourself from what you were doing. Come fully now into what you are doing. And we'll start with centering and grounding. So start with your senses without moving your eyes. Just notice what you see. Even if your eyes are half shut or all the way shut. Notice shapes and colors first. Notice lights and shadows. Notice where the doors and windows are in relation to your body. Notice where the other people and objects are in relation to your body. Notice the noises in the space besides my voice. And then bring your attention closer to your body so you can notice just your own personal bubble. And the instinct a lot of times is to just notice what's immediately in front of your body, but use your spidey sense, get a sense of what's immediately behind you too, and what's immediately to the sides of your body. Notice where air is touching your skin versus where clothing is covering your skin. Notice the weight of your body in your seat or on the floor. See if you can get heavier where you're touching down and stay light and buoyant from the waist up. So re-engage in the belly, re-engage with the shoulders in case you started slouching. And then rest your awareness on your breathing body without changing or judging your breath. Just notice your breath, how it moves in and out right now. Notice if it feels kind of quick or kind of slow. Does it feel easy or labored? Deep or shallow? Choppy or smooth? And then if you wish, you can bring a little more energy into the breath by just lengthening the breath while it comes in and out. So a good way to imagine it is when you breathe in, bring the breath lower and deeper into your belly than you normally do. You might actually feel your belly expand and get bigger like a balloon. And then when you exhale, let it come out of your body a little slower. So in and out of the nose is preferred. But if you're stuffy or something, then act like you're blowing out of a straw when you exhale, and it'll help the air escape a little slower by creating a valve. So inhaling smooth, deeper, lower than normal. Exhaling just a little bit longer than usual. Don't force it, okay? Allow it to get a little bit longer. It doesn't have to be twice as long as your inhale. Some people, it just naturally happens. So just for a few rounds, long spine, soft belly so that you can breathe deep, low into your body, and then exhale a little bit longer and slower. Do that for 3 or 4 rounds. Continue once or twice more. It doesn't have to feel good or comfortable or easy. Just notice what it does feel like. Finish the round that you're on. And then return to your natural passive breath and notice anything left over so far. Good. Then breathe in and open your eyes. Look around your room again. You can kind of reorient yourself. It's normal, even after a little bit of pranayama or breath technique, for your perception of the light to be a little different. So if you sense that, that's totally normal. And then go ahead and lay down on your back, please, with your knees bent and your feet on the floor. So feel free to shift around a little bit and get yourself as comfortable as possible. Again, it doesn't have to feel good. Just find something where you feel like your tail and your shoulders and your head are all supported by the floor and the mat underneath you. Once I get down, I kind of like to rock my shoulders a little more underneath me, one at a time, kind of walk them down. You could push into your feet a little bit and lift your hips like an inch off the floor. And then before you set them down, notice a sensation of growing long through the tail and slowly lower the hips back down onto the ground. Good. You can take your fingers, use the strength of your hands to pick your head up an inch, and then carefully set it back down. And you should feel pretty much anatomically neutral from here. Now stay. Make sure your feet are kind of hip distance. They can be a little wider if you wish, especially if your low back is extra sensitive today. And then you can let the knees fall in towards the middle, towards each other. Rest your arms. And just like we did when we were seated, look straight ahead of you, this time at the ceiling, and find something where you can stare. Soften your gaze. The muscles around your eyes and your jaw unclenched. And take a few breaths. Just notice this different relationship with gravity from here. Good. Okay. So if your feet were wide, take them to be shoulder distance apart or hip distance apart now, and identify your right leg first. And next time you breathe out, take your right knee in towards your body. So you can grab on to your pants, you can use a strap around your knee, or some bodies can actually touch the top of the kneecap or the shin. You can grab there, you can interlace your fingers, and use the strength of your hands to really pull the right knee in back towards your chest and your belly. Up to you if you keep this left leg bent or if you extend it longer. It's going to change the sensations in the hips, so you adjust accordingly. You can always rebend it or re-lengthen it. Good. And stay here for a few breaths, keeping the shoulders and the hips and the head down, relaxing the muscles in the jaw and the neck and the shoulders, just pulling with the strength of the hands. And if you want, you can roll your ankle a few times, go one way, and then go the other way. We call this the Rice Krispies. It's normal for the snap and crackle and pop. Just let it happen. Good. Give it another little tight squeeze. And then inhale, release your foot back down to the floor. Make both legs the same, either both legs bent or both legs long, and take a breath. Notice the difference between the two sides. And then exhale, other side. So left knee comes back for a hug. Grab whatever feels most comfortable. Use the strength of your hands on your strap or your pants or interlaced with each other, and relax your face and your shoulders. And then you can adjust the right leg to be long or more bent. Focus on creating a big compression here on the left side of the belly. And if you ever practice this right after you've eaten, or if you have a tummy ache and this isn't comfortable, you do have the option to take the knee more out at an angle towards your armpit instead of straight back. Roll your ankle if you did on the other side. And then go the other way too. Good. Inhale, let the foot come back to the ground, and then make both legs the same, either both bent or both straight. Take a breath. Notice what's left over so far. Next, exhale, take both knees back for a hug. So both straight back, or you can keep your toes together and both knees more out at an angle towards the armpits. Either way, look for length in the spine. So really tuck the tail down towards the floor, press your shoulders, grow length across the front of your chest. Press the back of your head into the floor and tuck your chin very slightly to get length through the back of the neck and the top of the head. Option here to be still, or you can rock side to side a little bit. It might help kind of use the floor as like a massage tool. Pushing into the softer tissues of the low back might give you some relief. Good, and then come to stillness, one big hug. And inhale, put your feet back down on the floor. Good. Identify your right foot again. And this time we're going to use a strap. So grab a strap. Yeah, perfect. And then with one side of the strap or the belt in each hand, place the strap under the ball of your right foot. And be kind of picky here. Make sure it's under the ball of the foot, not right on top. If it's too close to the toes, when your leg goes, it might like pop back at your face. That's why. Yeah, so just be careful. And then with a really good grip on the strap, to any extent, start to extend your leg longer. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight. If it does get perfectly straight, I want you to micro bend in the knee. So you're still engaging with the muscles in the top of the leg while you lengthen the muscles in the back of the leg. Imagine pushing through the heel and pulling your toes back towards your body more, like you're taking a step on the ceiling. Shaking and heat is normal here. If it gets to be too much shaking or like a sharp sensation, you've just gone too far and you need to bend the knee more or lessen the distance between the torso and the leg. If you want more sensation with the knee bent or long, you could pull the leg closer to your torso to shorten the distance. And just like we did earlier, you have the option of taking the left leg long. Pull the low belly in for support. Shoulders are relaxed, head is relaxed, face is soft. Breathing in and out. One more round of breath here. Good. And then take both sides of the strap in the right hand. So same arm and leg on the same side. Bend your knee a little bit more. And then to any extent, open your leg out to the right side, but keep that left hip down on the ground. I like to put my left hand on my left hip, so it kind of like anchors me down. Both shoulders are down, face is soft, still pushing through the heel and pulling your toes back towards your body. Take a couple breaths. Same rules apply. To get more sensation, you straighten the leg more or shorten the distance between the leg and your torso. To do the opposite, you bend the knee more or take it further away from your body. Good. Before you come up, belly in and up for support. Brace through the core and then inhale the leg all the way back up towards the ceiling and switch hands. So now only the left arm has the strap. Right foot is still extended. Inhale for more length. Exhale, take your leg across your body just like an inch. So we're targeting the IT band here. Still pushing through the heel, drag your toes back towards your body. Use your left hand for support. Stay and notice what you notice. Hips are both down, shoulders are down, face is soft. Keep your breath moving in and out. Option to stay or to twist further. So to do that, you would take your leg all the way across your body towards the left side of the room. In this time, your right hip can come up off the floor. Try to keep both shoulders down. Maybe you reach your right arm away from your body and your leg, so they're reaching in opposite directions. You could also look towards the right side of the room, towards your right fingertips. Soften where you can soften. Notice where you feel it the most. Bring your head back to the center first, and then belly in and up, brace through the core. Inhale your leg all the way back up to the center. Release your strap, but hold your leg up as high as you can. Keep pushing through the heel, toes are back. And now, as slowly as you can possibly manage, lower your right leg all the way back down to the ground, like a millimeter or an inch at a time. Brace through your belly, push your low back into the floor for support. Notice where it's difficult without judging yourself. It doesn't mean you're good or bad. Try to go as slow as you can. That's how you build muscle through here. Still breathing even when it's difficult. And then once your leg touches down, relax all the muscles in the leg all at the same time. Notice the difference between the two sides. You don't have to move or find anything in particular. Just be aware. Good. Now all of that on the other side. So bend both knees again. Get your strap under the left foot. Make sure it's secured really good so it's not going to come back at you. I like to even like wrap it around my hands so I feel like I have a good grip on it, but you may not be able to with a belt. So, and then push through the heel, pull your toes back towards your body. Knee comes more long. If it lengthens all the way, fine, but micro bend in the knee. Push through the heel, toes back towards your body. Then you can decide if the leg comes further up towards your torso or further down towards the floor. Find the place where it's not torture, but it's not nothing. Good. Shoulders are back and heavy. Strengthen the arms as holding onto the strap so you can consciously relax the muscles in the shoulders and the sides of your neck. Let your head be heavy. Stay and breathe. And then you have the option to lengthen the right leg too. There's no goal in these shapes. These are just options. The knee can be as bent or long as you want, and you can change your mind at any time. Last big round of breath here. Head is heavy, face is soft, especially the eyebrows. Good. And then grab both sides of the strap just with the left arm, same side. Push through the heel, put your toes back towards your body. You can bend your knee more, and then to any degree, open your leg out to the side. It could be a little or a lot. Some bodies, it touches the ground. It's fine. But keep the right hip down on the ground. If you want, you can put like a sandbag or a cat, or your right hand on your right hip so it stays down. Keep pushing through your heel, keep pulling your toes back. Yes. Hold that tension in the knee. It protects, or in the ankle to protect the knee. Strength of your hand is doing most of the work. Relax the shoulder and the neck. Keep breathing in and out and noticing. Brace through your core first. Inhale your leg all the way back up to the middle and then switch hands. So now both sides of the strap are in the right arm, opposite arm. Inhale for more length through the foot. Exhale just an inch at first. Take your foot over towards the right. So you're crossing the midline of the body just enough to notice the outside of the hip, but it might also pull and tug on the low back. That's normal. Take a breath here. See if you can soften even though it's pretty uncomfortable. And then to any extent, you can bring your leg across and let the hip come up off the ground. Keep pushing through your heel. Keep pulling your toes back towards your body. Yeah. Maybe you reach your left arm away. Maybe you look to the left. Soften through the middle of your body. Notice as you breathe that kind of rising and falling feeling. Head back to the center first, brace through the middle of your body, and then inhale, lift your leg all the way back up to the center. Remove the strap, keep your foot exactly where it is, as high as you can, and then as slow as you can, as quietly and gracefully as you can, even where it's hard, lower down to the ground. Really take your time. Try not to rush through the parts that are more taxing. And then once your leg does touch the ground, relax it completely. Let all the tension go through all the muscles in the leg. You can shift so you feel more even. And then acknowledge the differences between the two sides as you stay and breathe. And just observe. Tingling sensations are normal. Throbbing is normal. If your leg feels longer than the other side, that's normal. Tons of different ways that that can manifest. Good. Okay. So bend both knees, put your feet on the floor, and try to see if you can get the feet so that they're hip distance apart and about a foot's length away from your hip. So some bodies can like reach down and touch, some can't. That's not important. That looks good right there. Okay. Now tuck your tail underneath like you're pushing your low back into the ground. Push into your shoulders and the backs of your arms. You might do like robot arms with your hands towards the sky. Yeah. Some people like that. Some people like palms down on the floor next to their hips. It's totally up to you. Look straight ahead at the ceiling. Head stays on the ground. Shoulders stay on the ground. You're going to push into your heels and inhale, lift your hips only up towards the sky. It could be a little or a lot. And then exhale, carefully lower them all the way back down. So we're going to do this dynamically just a couple times. Inhale, reach and lift. Push more into the heels than you push into the toes. And then exhale, back down. This is called bridge pose. So a couple more. Follow your own breath. Just inhaling to lift and exhaling to lower. Next time you inhale and lift your hips, hold them high. And then see if you can isolate the right buttock, release the right buttock, lower the right hip very slightly. Inhale, lift it up higher, re-engage. Same on the other side. Release just the left buttock, lower the hip, and then inhale, reach it up higher. One or two more on each side. 0 to very little weight in the head. Push more into the shoulders and the backs of the arms. Push more into the heels. Breathing in and out. Once you've done the same amount of times on each side, inhale, lift them up even higher, and then as slowly as you can, exhale, lower your buttocks all the way back down to the floor. Resist the urge to pull your knees in towards your belly. Just stay for a moment with a big breath. And then gather both of your knees in for a hug at the same time again. You can rock side to side if you want. And then we're gonna rock forward and back a few times. So you could keep your hands on the tops of your knees. I like to kind of hold on to the backs of my legs and use that for momentum. Slow that down. And then come to rest on the ground again. One more squeeze, and then put your feet back on the floor. Elongate your legs on the mat, and then turn over onto your belly. Good. So, especially if it feels kind of strange in the low back to be on the belly, you might not start like face down. You might kind of start in a sphinx with your elbows bent right underneath your shoulders and your palms flat on the floor. Okay. Shoelace side of your feet is on the ground. And then see if you can just soften in the belly and the back while still pushing enough into the elbows that you're lifting up out of the shoulders. So instead of like collapsing down and sinking in the shoulders, imagine your head is still in line with your neck, which is attached to the back. So it's like another appendage. Breathe big into your belly. And notice where you feel it the most. You can rock your head very slightly side to side. You might imagine tucking the chin in towards the chest and then scraping it over to one shoulder. Back down through the middle and towards the other shoulder. And then come back to the center and lower yourself all the way back down onto the ground with your forehead touching the mat. Good. And then take your hands back by your hips and put your palms down on the floor. Yeah, doesn't have to be perfect at first. Anatomic neutral, but with the belly and the face down on the ground. Again, take a really big breath into the back of your body, almost like you're breathing in so big you're going to lift up. Good. Okay, we're going to do one limb at a time, and then we're going to come into, you might call it Superman or locust pose. So identify your right foot first, and then moving nothing else, inhale, lift your right foot up off the ground as high as you can. Push into that hip. Leg is long instead of knee bent, so the whole limb is lifting up as one straight piece. Yes, you can push through the heel or you can push through the toes, whichever one feels more comfortable for you. Keep breathing in and out. Next time you exhale, lower that leg all the way back down. Take a breath. Notice in between. Other side. Inhale, lift your left foot all the way back up. Head is relaxed. Squeeze through the buttock. And next time you exhale, let your foot come all the way back down. Good. Identify your arms. Inhale. This time, push into the feet and the hips. Lift the arms back behind you. Lift your head and your neck and your shoulders as well. Stay for a breath. And then exhale, lower all the way back down. Okay, now take your arms out ahead of you so that you're in like, kind of like a big X shape. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so identify your right foot and your left arm. Inhale, lift your right foot and your left arm. Maybe your head and your shoulders lift up too. Tuck your chin down and back, breathe. Exhale, lower back down. Inhale, other side. Right arm, left foot, head and chest and neck might lift as well. Stay for a breath. And exhale, lower back down. Take a big breath in neutral, just resting. Good. And now inhale, lift everything up off the floor. So feet, hands, head, neck, and shoulders. Pull your shoulders down and back away from your ears. Squeeze both buttocks. Chin down and back. Keep breathing. You might stay or you might move your hands to reach back towards your feet behind you. And then exhale, lower everything back down. Hands under your shoulders, or you could put your hands under your forehead and rock your head side to side on your hands or the floor. Breathe big into your back. Good. Place your hands under your shoulders, tuck your toes. So your toe pads are pushing into the floor. Good. Look straight down, head is resting, and do everything except push up. Do everything as if you're going to push up into plank. So push through your hands, squeeze through the abdomen, push into the toes, but don't lift up yet. And then either with knees up or knees down, push yourself up into a plank. Stay for a breath. And then place your knees down on the ground. So you're in all fours. Readjust so your hands are right under your shoulders and your knees are right under your hips. Good. Untuck your toes so you're pushing into the shoelace side of your feet. Spread your hands so your fingers are as wide apart as they can possibly get at first. Just notice what it's like to push into the floor like that. And then bring your fingers as tight together like Barbie hands as you can get them, like there's no space. And then find something in between. So ideally, the thumbs are rolling in slightly so the nails are pointed towards each other. And you want to imagine that there's like a blueberry under the carpal tunnel. So if I were to slide a blueberry under that little section of your palm, it would be protected and not smushed. Make sense? Okay, good. So next time you breathe in, bring your chest forward, belly forward, gaze goes forward. Exhale, push into your hands, round your shoulders more than your tail, and relax your head. This is called cat-cow. So inhale, forward again, belly forward, chest pulls forward, broad shoulders, look up, eyebrows lift. Exhale, big rounded shape, like a black cat on Halloween. Head is heavy, dangling. Yeah, back and forth now at your own pace. Try not to move quicker or slower than your breath. So try to match up the movement. Don't get to the top of your cow pose until your lungs are full. And don't get to the very bottom of your cat pose until your lungs are totally empty. It's going to take a few rounds, so take your time. This is probably the one thing, if I were to say, like, you should do this yoga pose every day, it's this. Just inhaling back and forth. One or two more at your own pace. And then come back to center in your natural tabletop. Okay, tuck your toes underneath. Okay. Inhale, lift your knees just an inch and hover. Push into your hands, lift your head back. And then lift your hips back up behind you and bring your head down between your arms. You can stay up really high on your heels, or you can push through the heels so that they reach down towards the ground. They don't have to touch. So really more important to get a long back here. So bend the knees more than you think. Push through all of your fingertips. Lift your shoulders up towards your earlobes. Head is heavy. Length between the tail and the crown. Maybe walk it out. Bend one knee more than the other, one at a time. One more on each side if you're moving. And then come back to stillness. Bend the knees a lot. Inhale, hips get really high up towards the sky. Exhale, imagine the heels moving down lower. Inhale, move back to a plank. Exhale, knees come back down. Good. Reposition so your hands are back underneath your shoulders and your knees are under your hips. Good. Okay, stay for a moment so you can identify your right arm and your left foot. Next time you breathe in, right arm moves forward. Put your fingertips on the ground. Exhale, move your left foot back, toes on the ground. You can tuck the toes under. Yeah, good. Okay, really pull in and up on the belly. Chin goes down and back, so your neck is long. You could stay here, or you could inhale, lift your arm and your foot to shoulder and hip height, but not higher. You're still looking down at the floor, so your neck is neutral. Length between the fingertips and the heel of your foot. Lift your arm an inch higher. Yes. Breathe in and out. It doesn't have to be graceful. And then carefully bring everything back underneath you. Take a breath. Notice the difference between the two sides. Other side. Left arm moves forward, fingertips down. Exhale, right foot moves back, toes down. Chin down and back. Push into both of your hands. Push into both of your feet. Belly in and up. And then maybe you inhale to lift. Reach between the heel and the fingertips. Keep breathing. Inhale, get even longer. Exhale, bring everything back underneath you. Good. Toes together, knees further apart, like as wide as your mat maybe. And then sink your hips back. You can uncurl your toes so your shoelaces are down. And then let your belly and your chest and your head come down. Good. Forehead is resting. Hips might touch your heels, they might not. Bend your elbows, let everything get super heavy. Couple more like that, just breathing in and out. Noticing what is left over. Good. Stay where you are, but lengthen your arms as long as you can. And come up onto your fingertips like you have a cupcake underneath each palm and you're protecting it. Yeah, good. Now stay super long. Only move your hands towards the right. Left hip stays glued back towards the left. Stay and breathe. Inhale back through the center. And when you're ready to exhale, go to the other side. So towards the left, but your right hip stays way back. Breathing big. Maybe you even move your armpit up and down so you can explore what it feels like in the right side body. Inhale your hands back to the center. Lift your head so you can look forward, and then just bring yourself back to all fours. And then come up to a high kneeling position. So you're standing on your knees. Feet are back behind you with the shoelace side down. Hands on your hips, look straight ahead. And if you got lightheaded, you can tuck your chin down towards your chest, give it a little squeeze. It'll help you kind of come back to neutral. Good. Okay. Identify your right leg. And when you're ready, inhale, take your right leg forward. If you feel super wobbly side to side, take your right foot more to the right so you're more on like railroad tracks instead of a balance beam. Makes sense? It should feel more secure. Okay, good. Now, stay here, push actively into both of your feet. Scissor your legs together without moving them. So imagine them coming close together. You're pulling the right knee back without moving it, and you're pushing the left hip forward. Squeeze the left buttock. Shoulders stacked on top of your hips, and you're tall and proud and high. Good. Looking straight ahead, not necessarily up. If you want, you can keep your hands on your hips, or you could lift your arms up overhead. And if you do, lift your shoulders up towards your earlobes too. Good. Bring your hands back to your hips or your chest. Next time you breathe in, come forward onto your right foot more. So the hips are shifting forward instead of your back as a flat piece. So come back to neutral and then shift your hips forward. Yeah, it could be a little or a lot. That's perfect. Again, you're pushing into both sets of feet. You're lifting the chest and the ribs up off of your hips, and your gaze is forward. Inhale yourself back to neutral, and then place your right knee back underneath. Stay for a breath. Notice what's left over. And then inhale, other side, left foot comes forward. So check and see if you need to widen your stance so you feel super secure. Push into both sets of feet. Imagine scissoring the legs together without actually moving them towards each other more. And then shoulders are stacked on top of your hips. Gaze is forward and soft. Relax your shoulders down away from your ears. You can keep your hands at your hips or on your knee. You could bring them to your heart, or you could inhale and bring them up overhead. Keep pressing down into what's touching down. Keep lifting up and feeling lighter from the waist up. Yeah. Okay. Bring your hands back to your hips or your heart. Next time you inhale, shift your hips forward more over that front ankle. Good. Stay and breathe. Keep lifting your ribs up off your hips. Keep melting your shoulders down and relaxing your gaze. Breath is moving in and out even if it's uncomfortable. Inhale, push yourself back to neutral and bring your knee back underneath you. So both knees are the same. You can sit back on your heels and just take a breath and notice what's left over. Good. Okay. So now we're going to do the same thing again, but instead of staying down on your knees, you will have the option of lifting up into a lunge. Okay. I'll talk you through it, but do whichever one you feel is appropriate for today. So come back to a kneel and then bring your right leg forward again. Good. This time, tuck the toes of your left foot, the back foot. Yeah. Okay. And now moving as little as possible, like imagine staying low, you just lift and straighten the back knee. So you come into a lunge. You might take the right foot more to the right. The back leg is as strong and straight as you can get it. The front knee is bent, but you still want to see your front toes. So when you look down, you can still see your big toe sticking out. If not, squeeze the right knee to track towards the pinky toe edge of the foot. Yes. And then get heavy from the waist down, get lighter from the waist up. Same rules apply. You can keep your hands at your hips, you can bring them to your heart, or you can lift your arms up overhead. Scissor the legs together without moving them. Breathe in and out and smooth. Gaze is locked ahead, but soft. One more breath here. Good. Bring your hands back down to your hips. Then let your hands come down to the floor. Set your back knee down and swing your right knee back. Take a seat. Take a breath and notice what's left over. Good. Other side. So come back to a kneeling position. This time take the left foot forward. Maybe take it a little more over to the left so you're already on railroad tracks. Tuck the back toe and then do nothing but straighten the back leg. Good. If you want to shift a little bit now, you can. Pushing hard into both sets of toes and the front heel. Maybe looking down to make sure you can see your big toe. If not, track the knee over towards the pinky and then lift yourself up out of your hips. Hands can stay at your hips or your heart or overhead. Find as steady as you can, as still as you can, but you're breathing in and out. Lift your back heel higher. Yeah, push more into the big toe. Yeah. Last breath. Gaze is solid. Face is soft. And then bring your hands back to your heart or your hips. Carefully bring your knees down. Place your hands down. And then swing your leg back behind you. Take a seat on your heels. And notice what's left over. Good. Now, just carefully, however you want to, shift onto your bottom and bring the soles of your feet together. Good. You might want to kind of like move your butt flesh around a little bit. There's no other way to say that. And then imagine that you're pushing the pinky toe edges of your feet together to kind of make a seal. So some people, it's easy to squeeze the big toes together. Some people, their feet kind of open like a book. It doesn't matter. But you want the knees to come out away from each other. Hang on to your toes or your ankles or your knees. Choose the one that makes you feel the tallest. And then really actively push the feet together as you squeeze the buttock and the hips to open the knees more out to the sides. We're not going to bounce like butterfly, so we're not like flapping wings. You're very still. Chest is broad. Gaze is forward. Shoulders melting down and away. You might even use your hands to like pull yourself a little more forward so you feel like you're forcing a bit of a back bend. That's normal. Face is soft, breathing in and out. Notice what happens when you stay, but you pull your belly organs in and up. Good. And then option to stay here, or you can fold forward. So there's two ways to fold forward. You can do a rounded shape or a flat shape. They're both valid. I'll show you both. So one version is flat back. So you keep the shape that you have now and you sort of start to pull yourself forward, but it's chest and chin first, right? So it's like you're reaching your chin and your face out ahead of you. And then once you start to round, you come out about 10%. And you stay in the position where you're still pretty flat. Other option is to go round, which means you might need to focus on pulling your elbows out instead, because if you pull them in towards your body, you're going to round and they're going to touch your belly. Pull them out to the side. And then instead of chin and chest first, you're imagining like the top of your head is coming to your feet, to like the spot between your feet. Yeah. Do whichever one feels interesting. We're going to do both. So hold for a couple breaths here. Soften your gaze. Soften your belly, breathe deeper. Really notice what it's like to breathe in the back of your body. The lungs physiologically are bigger in the back half of you. So as you kind of squish the front of you, force the breath bigger into the sides, under your armpits, and into the middle and low back especially. Good. Now come out a little bit until you can flatten out your back. Belly organs in and up, shoulders down away from your ears, and then squeeze your shoulders behind you. Yeah, that's it for you right there. Take another breath or two here. And then, like Tin Man, one piece, inhale yourself all the way back up. Take one hand on each side of your knees and close the book. If you want to wrap your hands around your knees and give yourself a hug, you can. You can let your head go really heavy, soften the belly big time, and just take a few deep breaths here. Good. Okay. This will be the last pose that we do. So scoot yourself over towards the couch, or you could do this at a chair or something, but scoot all the way over to the couch, but so you're still sideways. Still sideways. Yeah. Till your leg is touching the couch. Now, all I need you to do is lay down and then swing your legs so that they're up on top of the couch. Perfect. Yeah. This is a restorative pose that's especially helpful for low back pain. Yeah. It is good for circulation and insomnia and anxiety and all kinds of stuff because of how it changes the blood flow and lymph. And it's a kind of a trick for the nervous system just to calm down in general. It also is physiologically helpful for low back pain. So soften as much as you can here. You might want to like shift your shoulders a little bit, like walk them back underneath you. Exactly. Arms can come down and you could choose palms down or palms up. That's up to you. Pick a spot on the ceiling where you can stare unless you want to close your eyes halfway or all the way. Soften everything. So don't hold your feet any certain way. Let the couch and the floor really hold your weight here. Let go of any accidental tension in your hands. Let your head get super heavy. Smooth out your forehead, unclench your jaw. And don't worry about breathing any certain way. Just breathe in and out. And stop doing yoga. Notice the sensation of doing nothing. I'm going to offer you a short guided body scan meditation. It'll just take 5 minutes, but it's optional. So if you have like a prayer or an affirmation or something you'd rather work with, this is the perfect time to incorporate that into your regular yoga practice. While your body is extremely relaxed and resting, the mind is more receptive to positive influence. But if you want to follow along with me, I'm just going to name parts of your body and you bring attention to that part of your body without judgment. You're just going to notice what's present or not present. And then we'll move on to the next part and the next part until we scan the whole body, hence the name body scan. Okay. If you're following along with me, bring all of your awareness and attention just to the tips of your toes. You don't have to move them or find anything in particular. Just be aware of all of your toes. Notice the bottoms of your feet. Notice the tops of your feet. Notice your ankles. Notice your lower legs. Notice your knees. Notice your upper legs. Notice your hips. Notice your buttocks. Notice your pelvis. Notice your belly. Notice your low back. Notice your upper back. Notice your chest, the sides of your waist. Notice your shoulders. Notice your upper arms. Notice your elbows. Notice your lower arms. Notice your wrists, the backs of your hands, the palms of your hands. Notice all of your fingertips. Notice the spaces between your fingertips. Notice the front of your throat. Notice the back of your neck, the back of your head, the top of your head. Notice your forehead, your temples. Notice your ears. Notice your cheeks. Notice your jaw, your chin. Notice your lips. Notice your teeth. Notice your tongue. Notice your nose. Notice your right eyelid. Notice your left eyelid. Notice your right eyebrow. Notice your left eyebrow. Notice the space between your eyebrows. Now that you've noticed your whole body one piece at a time, become aware of your whole body together as one big piece, one system. Let distractions be what they are, where they are. Take a step back in your mind to notice everything at once. Use your body as an anchor for your attention over and over. And then let go of that. Bring your awareness just to the parts of your body that are touching the floor. Notice your breath without changing it. Carefully start to wiggle your fingers and your toes to let your body wake back up. And that can turn into something bigger. Maybe you just roll your ankles and your wrists. You can stretch your arms over your head, bring your knees in for a hug, squeeze into a little ball, anything that feels kind of natural or necessary, which might be more stillness, whatever feels right. Good. And then we'll end in a seat. So all you do is bring your knees back towards your body again. And then carefully roll over onto your left side. So you're coming out opposite that you went in. Roll over, use your arm like a pillow, and then use your arm, use as little effort as possible. Just push up to a seat. And find another seat like we did at the beginning. Roll your shoulders down away from your ears. Let your gaze go forward and slightly down. In and up on the belly, squeeze your shoulders behind you a little bit, and then I'll invite you to bring your hands together, either in a prayer position with your thumbs touching the center of your chest. You can stack your hands, whatever feels right to you is fine. And look down or bow down towards your heart in your hands. And this motion is in gratitude of yourself. So as best you can, give yourself a sincere thank you just for carving out the time and for showing up. Everything else is just bonus. Remember, you have a body, but you're not just your body. You have a mind, but you're not just your thoughts. And you have emotions, but you're not just your feelings. When you're ready, your hands can come down. Let your eyes flutter open and up. Class is over. Let me turn off the recording, and then if you have questions, we can talk about it.
Yeah. Oh.